When we started the museum, there was no place to find the stories of Chinese and Asian Americans in New York City. Actually, let me correct that. There was no place to find true stories. There were plenty of places that we could find lots of stereotypes that were in our major institutions. But the question then became, how could we fix that? Well, we could fix that by talking to people who had lived the experience. And now, 30 years later, we gather to both celebrate and rededicate ourselves. We celebrate that we have the multitudes of true and diverse stories now in our collections and now being displayed. And we celebrate for the first time in the 180-year history of Chinese in New York City that that in this city there is a citywide race in which a Chinese American may actually be elected. And after 180 years, we're celebrating the fact that there might be a city for the first time, a Chinese American, a person of Chinese American heritage representing the Chinatown area. Now, my point is not that you must vote for them because they are of Chinese heritage, but that moment of possibility has finally arrived after 180 years. This museum and this exhibit are part of that larger purpose. The name of this exhibit was really inspired by Lao Tzu's quote that he wrote around 600 BCE. The journey of 1,000 li begins with the first step. After 30 years, we begin yet again in taking that first step together. Now, there are too many people to thank, so I won't be able to list them, but I just want to quickly say thank you, Cynthia Lee, who's the co-curator of our exhibit. It was an amazing journey itself. Sandra Wheeler of Matter, Alicia Cheng of Management, who have been an amazing team to work with. And I wanted to especially thank Charlie Lai for having just stepped down as a director and really making so much of what we now see possible. But I also want to note that this exhibit is dedicated to him, Mark Lai, and Laura Lai. And him, Mark, and Laura have been kind of pioneering visionaries who have single-handedly been supporting and creating Chinese American studies, not as academics. He was a full-time engineer, and he dedicated his life, and she dedicated her life in making the basics of what we now take for granted possible. So the exhibit is dedicated to them. Now I'd like to introduce somebody who actually does not need an introduction. It's David Henry Huang, playwright David Henry Huang.